Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn the fundamental concepts of algebra of class 6, and we are going to learn how that we are going to understand that what particular concepts of this chapter is and how what is the practical use of algebra in our real life also we are going to see. So you all are watching GANITMATICS. I am Michael Dutta. Ab har sawal hoga solve. Now whenever we are talking about fundamental concepts of algebra, we first have to know that what an algebraic expression is. Okay. Now expression basically means it's a combination of variables, numbers, constants and fundamental operators. So let me give you all an example first. Like for example, if I tell you that we have something like this, say 5x square minus 3xy plus 2. Now here you all can see that what things do I have used here? I have used numbers, I have used variables, I have used fundamental operators as well, right? So the combination of all these things when written in a particular relation, then that is called a algebraic expression. Okay?
Okay, so I am Michael Dutta. You all are watching GANITMATICS. How har sawal hoga solve. Okay, those who are new to this channel, you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any new videos.
Now, to understand the basic concepts for the expression, we have to first understand few basic terms. Okay, now let us see which basic terms we all have to understand first. The first thing that we have to understand is what a term is. Okay, then next we have to understand that what is a coefficient. Then we have to learn that what is a numeral coefficient or a numerical coefficient, and we also have to learn what a degree is. So these are few basic concepts that we are going to learn. Okay, now based on the concept of term, we are also going to learn that what the different type of expressions, or in other words we can also call it as polynomials. Okay, so let us first understand what a term is and how it is decided. Now for example, this expression that I have right now in front of me, so if I want to know that how many terms are present in the expression, then always remember that there are only two fundamental operators. Now as far as we know that there are four fundamental operators, isn't it? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. But only addition and subtraction decides that how many terms are there in a particular expression. How? See. So if I observe this particular expression, then we all can see that here, if I just focus on addition and subtraction operators, then we have addition and subtraction at two places, one here and one here, right? Now these two operators in this expression dividing this entire thing into three parts, right? Into three parts. Now if I individually focus on each of the parts, then the first part that we are getting here is 5x square, right? Then the second part that we are getting is 3xy, and the third part that we are getting is a 2. So these individual parts that we have got after breaking this expression into three parts with the help of addition and subtraction operators, these three parts are called terms. Okay, so that means in this way we are going to decide that how many terms do we have in a algebraic expression. So I guess term is clear now. So as an overall, if I call it here, that in this expression we have three terms. Okay. Now coming to the next one, coefficient. Now let us understand what a coefficient is. Now to understand the coefficient of to understand the concept of the coefficient, we have to take a particular term. Okay, so let me take the term 3xy. Okay, now if one more thing that we all need to understand here is factors. Okay, now see this 3xy term, I can also write it as 3 into x into y. So that means for this particular term, this individually 3x and y are the factors of this particular term, right? Now if I want to know that what is the coefficient of x in this term, see, coefficient basically means that for any term, if we write all the factors, individual factors in multiplication form, then suppose if I ask you all that what is the coefficient of x in this particular term, then what you all will do is you all will see that other than x, what other factors do we have? Okay, so see, in this particular term, other than x, we have two more factors, 3 and y. So if I write them together in multiplication, then that becomes 3y, isn't it? So that means the coefficient of x in this term is 3y, and that is how we decide regarding the coefficient. Okay, in the same way, if I ask you all that what is going to be the coefficient of y in this term, then what you all will see that what other things are there in multiplication other than y. So if I closely watch, we have 3x in multiplication with y. So in that case, 3x will be the coefficient of y in this particular term. Okay, so I guess coefficient is clear now. Now the next thing that we are going to see is the numerical coefficient or numeral coefficient. See, basically numerical coefficient means in any term, whatever number we will have as a factor, like in this term we have 3, in the first term we have 5. So in any term, whichever numerical number will be there as a factor, then that is going to be our numerical coefficient. So for this term, our numerical coefficient will be 3. Okay, clear? Now we are coming to our last concept, that is called the degree. But before coming to the concept of the degree, let us discuss that what are the different type of that expressions are, and what, in other words, we also call our expression as a polynomial. So the point is, if I want to know that for a given polynomial what type of polynomial is, then we have to focus on this particular things. Now let me give you all one more example. Like, let me take an expression as 3x cube y minus 7xy minus 23. Suppose this is one expression that I have with me. Okay, now if I want to know that what type of polynomial it is, then I just need to observe that how many terms do I have here, because the number of terms decides that what type of polynomial or what type of algebraic expression is given to us. Okay, now see, so remember, if for any expression, if there is only one term, then that polynomial is called monomial. Okay, second, if any particular expression have two terms, then that is called a binomial. Similarly, for 3 terms will be trinomial, for 4 terms will be called quadrinomial. Okay, and there is a term called multinomial also. So any expression which have 2 or more than 2 terms, you can also name it as a multinomial. Okay, and as an overall, the general name of any algebraic expression is a polynomial. Okay, now let us decide for this particular expression what type of polynomial it is. Now if I observe here, then let us first find out that how many terms are present here. Now see, if I focus on only 2 operators, as we have discussed earlier, that only plus and minus operators decides the number of terms. So here we only have 2 negative operators, like 2 subtraction operators are here. So these 2 will divide the entire expression again into 3 parts. So that means we have 3 terms. So that means what type of polynomial it is? It is a trinomial, because there are 3 terms, that is why it's a trinomial. And that is how we decide that how many terms are there and what type of polynomial is given to us. Okay, now I guess till now the concepts that we have discussed, I think it's pretty clear to all of you. Now coming to the last concept from this particular portion is the degree. Now let us understand what a degree is and how we find the degree of a given polynomial. Now see, what you all will do is, you will first focus on individual terms. Like here we have 3 terms, right? Now you all have to focus on the powers of the variable which is present in each of the terms. Like the first term, if I see here in this expression, we have 2 variables here. One is x, one is y. What is the power of x here? 3. What is the power of y? 1. So we have to add those 2. So that means the overall power of this entire term is going to be 4. So that means if there is more than one variable in a particular term, then you need to add the powers of both of them. Similarly, if there are 3 variables, you add the powers of all the 3 variables, like that. So for this particular term, our power is 4. Similarly, for the second term, see, x power is 1, y power is 1. So what will be the total power then? 2. and since this is a constant term, so there is no power, right? There is no variable, so we don't have to think about the power of the variable. So that means whatever is going to be our highest power in between all the terms present, that will be our degree. So in this particular case, as we can see that 4 is the highest power, right? So that means the degree for this particular polynomial will be 4. Understood? So these are the basic concepts of algebra. So if you all get any question related to these particular concepts, I hope now you all will be able to understand. So you all are watching Ganitmatics. I am Michael Dutta. Ab har sawal hoga solve.